What the f is SARMS?
SARMS.
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 I want to know about SARMS.
Now I know a lot of people are going to be upset about this video. Hopefully you guys will come around.
It is a shitstorm of people trying to sell the holy grail of products.
Yeah. Look, I've never taken them, I will never take them, and there's two main reasons for that.
Don't think anybody should take any kind of anabolic compound at all. SARMs or anabolic steroids.
I just can't see it. Like there's these white blobs in my eyes.
What the data basically show for SARMs being linked to diseases such as cancer, they're pretty much as bad as steroids in terms of side effects, and you should not fuck with that.
Alright you guys, so I didn't really want to make this video, but it is about time I addressed this and made it very clear for everyone. So without further ado, let's get into it.
I want to know about SARMs. The thing is, I actually don't get many questions on it because hardly anyone knows about it.
As I'm sure you guys are very well connected in the YouTube community, you'll see a lot of people online making videos discussing the use of SARMs. The two main people that brought this to light, firstly starting off with Ryan Casey, ex-Gymshark athlete.
SARMs, selective androgen receptor modulators.
It came to light that obviously he was using SARMs. Now first things first, selective androgen receptor modulators. It sounds fancy, everyone always gives you the same description every single video. I'm gonna keep it very black and white in the way that I would choose to explain it, okay? So effectively the way SARMs are advertised is that they are like steroids, but they have no negatives, supposedly.
So the SARMs are targeting the specific receptor sites on muscle cells only. So that's why it's meant to give you really good gains, like steroid gains, but without the side effects. That's what the marketing is telling you.
However, most recent studies are stating, I'll pop some examples on the screen here.
And basically what they have found quite succinctly is that it's significantly altering expression of genes. Actually, a lot of the genes are actually quite involved with cancer.
Oh.
The preliminary data is very, very good.
On the quantities and the dosages that are used from individual different types of SARMs, because they haven't been around long enough in, I guess, the media or the limelight, there isn't enough studies that have been done on them to supposedly educate people on whether they're safe to be used or not. And I think that's a massive thing to consider. For a lot of people out there, they'll be looking, especially young guys, they'll be looking at a quick solution for gains, effectively. Guys see bigger guys, like, you know, people that have just agreed to coming out on steroids. Larry Wheels, you've got Ryan Casey, you've got Mo Samuels that came out with a video chasing up his use of his tests of SARMs to see what the effects were, and I think there'll be more videos to come of light down the line with that, which I think is excellent, by the way. Massive shout out to Mo and the rest of the guys for sort of educating people and being very honest.
Don't take fucking SARMs.
The purpose of this video was to share my opinion and to hopefully to reach out to my audience of people that are currently watching my content. First of all, I want you to know that I'm completely natural. It's not something that I've ever considered touching. SARMs are probably the most attractive to someone who, I guess, is scared of using steroids like myself. It doesn't interest me, it's not worth it. I personally would never even consider going down that route. I have a lot of friends and I guess people that I know from the gym that are on stuff or have been on stuff previously, whether that be SARMs, GH, steroids, or any other performance enhancing drugs. I think there's so many things to consider when it comes to the market out there. If a market is so big and so broad, it's more likely going to target a larger audience, you know, of young guys in particular that will be interested in taking the ones that have the least side effects, so to speak. I think it's great that a lot of people have come out recently and shared their honest opinions, because a lot of people like myself and all the people that watch my content and a lot of you guys out there that are watching this right now will probably look up to some of the bigger athletes and the bigger people in the fitness community that are, you know, massive, or even guys in your gym that are big. I think Instagram as a whole is like the main driving factor behind young guys trying to get into fitness and to make a name for themselves. There's so many people that online right now that are pushing into that social media, you know, like modeling sort of industry, like trying to get into the fitness industry, trying to become sponsored athletes, trying to work with companies, that sort of thing. Don't get me wrong, I think it's great, but I think there does need to be a level of education, especially for people that are using performance enhancing drugs, things outside of that nature, but within the same remit, such as SARMs, I think need to be considered. And there's so many people out there that have a lot of great educational content. There's so many great people online that I watch, and however, I think it's really important to consider it hasn't been around long enough, so there is the potential for so much to go wrong. And I think when you look at these sorts of clips,
you start taking steroids or any kind of performance enhancing drug, your performance is going to be enhanced, right? You're going to get bigger, you're going to get stronger, whatever it is. Now, that's great in that sense, right? But over time, you're going to have to increase your dose for it to keep working.
if you ever get to a point where you want to stop taking it, or because of your health you want to stop taking it, or you know, for whatever reason you stop taking it, like, your performance is then going to deteriorate. You know, you're going to go back to being a weak, feeble, like, weasel, and that's going to suck. You know, like, the chances are there will be some side effects. If anything, it's probably more risky than steroids, because at least with steroids, although there are known side effects, like, they're known, so you can kind of generally assume what's going to happen if you take them, whereas with SARMs, you don't know. Like, no one's taken them for 5-10 years and seen the results, so there's no way of knowing. So the risk there for me is even greater, which makes me even less susceptible, or, you know, less likely to take them.
There is so much information flying around the internet right now, and I think it's so important to consider anything that you read online to not necessarily be factual. I think there is always going to be an opinion driving behind a factual based assumption on a study of some kind or something like that, and I'm not for 1 second questioning the legitimacy of some of these studies. I think it's really important to understand that what you're putting in your body will have side effects, and if it hasn't been around long enough, there is a very big potential that there is going to be studies, or there could be side effects that are backed up from studies down the line that we currently don't know, because SARMs haven't been around for long enough. And I think that's the danger here, is that steroids have been around for many, many, many years. Going back even before I was born, steroids have a lot of education behind them now, and it doesn't necessarily make steroids a good thing, and I'm not necessarily promoting the use of steroids, and I would never do that, but I think it's important to educate people. I just wanted to bring to light some of these videos that have been put out online recently, and if you are an individual that is currently using SARMs or performance enhancing drugs of any kind or steroids, I think it is important to address to your audiences as a person that may be promoting yourself through social media, maybe a professional in an industry, it may be someone that is an athlete or sponsored or associated with a company. Yes, there may be negatives or downsides towards doing so, but I think if you're an individual that currently isn't marketing yourself in an honest way, I think it's super important to, like, reach out to your audiences and be really real with, you know, with the young people that you could be influencing based on how you look, right? I think when you're, you know, like a fitness icon from around the world, there are bigger factors to consider, like your sponsorship deals and stuff like that. And I think why I comment on Ryan Casey's video, where he effectively spoke about the open use of his SARMs in previous content. My personal opinion is that there is a massive correlation between the fact that he's just made a video talking about the use of SARMs. This is a couple of weeks ago now, and he's also, a week or so after that video coming out, has been dropped by Gymshark. And I think there are going to be big companies out there that should need to accept responsibility for their athletes, not just, they should support them based on where they stand, because I think there is a multitude of different people out there that are using something in some way and aren't being very honest with their audiences, with their fan base, with the people they're motivating, with the people they're driving to do good things. I think we do need to be really straight up and honest with people, because I want my audiences that watch my videos to watch the content that I'm watching, because I think if I'm learning something, why can't my audiences? And if I can recycle it in a way where you guys want to pay attention to someone else's content, I think that's fantastic. So I'm really happy to see you guys take something away from today's video. It's only a short one, guys. If you enjoyed this content, you know exactly what to do. Subscribe, thumbs up the video. Let me know what you think to this video in the comment section below. I'll always try and keep up to date with trends and update you guys as soon as I can. If there is any more advice or updates in terms of studies and stuff like that, and I see stuff online, I will make other videos on this topic for you. So stay tuned, you'll see you next one.